What's up, guys? Today I just wanted to post a little video just showing my process on how I go through my reloading process. This is the first thing I ever do with any brass, range pickup brass, anything that has a spent primer in it. I know I have a Dillon 550, but I only use that press to resize, powder drop, bullet seating, bullet crimp. I do not do any decapping on that press whatsoever, just because of all the dirt and the grime that comes out of the brass. So this is a Hornady single stage with a quick detach collet that your dies go in. I like this press for what it is. I will not. You could load ammunition on this press, but like I said, I only use it just to decap all my brass. So right now we have a number 2 die in there. It's a shell holder. What I use is Lee, and inside it they provide you with a nice chart. So it has all your shell holders that you need for any caliber. So I have a number 2 in there now. I'm just going to go ahead and deprime all my 45 brass here. This is all the brass that I've saved up for the last couple months, and then once everything's decapped, then I'll take it over to my Hornady ultrasonic cleaner and run it probably twice in there for 30 minutes each. Every 5-10 minutes I'll probably go and stir the brass up so every piece of brass actually gets clean. I'm not looking for it to come out of there spotless. The third step on the decapping is I'll run it, let it dry, and then I'll run it through my vibrator that I have that I use corn cob in. So that's all the 45 I had. Sometimes you can get away with using the same shell holder for multiple calibers. This is a 357. It's a little loose, but it'll work just fine because I'm not resizing in this side. The only thing I'm doing is decapping the primer. If I was resizing, things would be a lot tighter in the die and you would have to use the proper shell holder. I'm not condoning you not to use the proper shell holder. I'm just telling you what works for me. So I'll go ahead and decap these 357 mag brass. I only have a little bit left. I've probably decapped probably close to 400 brass this afternoon. Like I said, I'm just getting ready for the upcoming season. Notice that I'm wearing a glove on the hand that's actually coming in contact with all the brass because of all the powder residue and such. As you see, this glove is new when I started this video and it's already getting dirty. I have 2 kids, and less I can come in contact with all that residue and such after the brass is empty, the better it is. So I like to wear a glove on this hand as I'm going through all this process. So there's multiple stages I go through when I deprime any brass, whether it's range pickup brass, the brass that came out of my gun, or anybody else's that gives me brass. So the process is, I use this single stage press. I like this single stage press. It's a Lee single stage press for what it is. I do not do any resizing on this press. I just decap my brass. I have a Dillon 550. I love the press. It's a 4-stage press. I'll do my resizing on that press. I'll do my powder. I'll do my bullet and my crimp. But I do not like to do any decapping on that press just because of all the dirt and the grime that can come out of these casings. So that's why I invested into this single stage press. It has quick change dies on the top. I believe they're collets. You put your die in, set them, and then you just press this button right here on the top, and then you turn your die, and your entire die comes out, and then you can swap another die in. The other process that I do use this single stage press for is for my bulging die. I shoot a Glock G22 Gen 3 for competition, and I need that gun to fire reliable every single time. So I use this press to debulge any of the 40 cal brass. As everybody knows, the Glocks come with an unsupported chamber, the barrels, and if you run another round into a different Glock or a different 40 cal barrel, what can happen is that casing, that brass can get stuck in that barrel, and it will not fire, or it'll get hung up when it's going into battery, whatever it is. So I need my gun to function 100% reliable all the time. So I'll use this press for my bulging of the 40. So I'm done with all the 357, so now I'm going to go ahead and deprime all these, the 30-30 brass. So I'll go over here to this Lee chart that comes with all your shell holders. Find 30-30 on there, and it's right there. It's a number 3 shell holder. So shell holders come in a nice holding case for you. You find your number 3. Take your number 2 out, put it back, and just slide your number 3 in. It's this press is very quick on changing over from different calibers for, like I said, decapping purposes. And it'll go as quick as you want it to go. I'm just kind of taking my time and relaxing as I do this. Also, you probably saw right there that the brass actually got hung up as the ram was going up. This die is a Hornady decapping die. It's very forgiving, but sometimes what happens is the flash hole for the primer is not centered into the brass, so that's why sometimes it gets stuck or it hits the bottom of the case. So sometimes you have to work with it. For the most part, though, it's not an issue. I'm done decapping all the brass I have on hand. And before we head over to the ultrasonic cleaner, I just wanted to tell you, make sure when you're done decapping or reloading, whatever it is, you take care of your press. As you see, look at all the, I don't know if you can see it, but this is all primer and powder residue that's built up on this press since I've been decapping today. So if you take care of your press, it'll take care of you. I always like to use alcohol wipes. You can use alcohol in a cotton ball, whatever you have. I have these alcohol wipes, so I just like to wipe the press down, get all of that dirt and grime off of the ram, clean the ram. I took out this primer feeder here. I'm going to clean that up. I just want to make sure this press is clean for the next time I come here to decap. I don't have to worry about it. Oops, sorry about that. I don't have to worry about cleaning this press up. I can just get started and start decapping. It might be more time now, but in the end, if you take care of your press, it'll take care of you. So once I get this cleaned up, we'll head over to the ultrasonic. Okay, now we're back. This is the ultrasonic cleaner that I have. I think it's like 6.2 liter ultrasonic cleaner, they call it, or something. But you can hang gun parts, ARs, whatever you want in here. But today we're just going to clean our brass in here. So we're done decapping. We've cleaned our press. We've lubricated the ram. So now we want to put our solution inside the ultrasonic. So we take the lid off. As you see, it's a fairly big ultrasonic cleaner. The solution I use is the One-Shot Sonic Clean Solution by Hornady. Product does great. I don't have any issues with this product. You mix it. On the back it tells you the ratio you mix it with. I already have some mixed up in these gallon jugs, so that's what we're going to use. As you see, I don't know if you see it right there on the ultrasonic cleaner itself. This line right here, that's the min-max. So your solution cannot be below this, and here's your max line. Your solution should never be above this. And as you can see, the solution's pretty clean. I think I've only used this solution one time, maybe twice. But I like to go between the min and the max, because by the time you put your brass in, depending how much brass you have in there, it's going to raise that water up. So we'll get our brass. As you see, there's a lot of brass in there. Let's bring the whole thing over and put it in the ultrasonic. So now, here's my wooden spoon. That's what I'll be stirring this with probably every 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll turn it on. And here we go. Temperature, we're going to turn it up to about 140 degrees. The time, we're going to go 30 minutes on the time. We're going to put the degas on. Actually, we'll go normal because this isn't new solution. This solution's been used before, and they said degas, actually, you should degas with new solution. We're also going to turn the heater on, so that'll heat the water up and also help break up the carbon deposits and everything in the brass. So we'll put our lid on. And when I turn this on, you guys are probably not going to hear me. So after this 30 minutes, I'm going to start the cycle again, and we're going to run it for another 30 minutes. Like I said, every 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and stir it with the wooden spoon. So once an hour's up, we'll be back, and I'll show you what I do to dry the brass out. So now, if you can hear me, I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off, set it down to the side. And I'm going to take my wooden spoon, and I'm just going to give this brass a little stir. You see all that powder residue's already starting to come off of this brass. I've tried a lot of different methods on cleaning brass. I've tried the walnut media. I've tried the straight corncob media. I tried the steel beads with lemon shine and all that. Nothing beats this ultrasonic cleaner. Put the lid back on. Wait another 10 minutes and give it a stir. We'll be back when the ultrasonic is done. Okay, so the brass just got finished, and I'm sure you can tell it looks a lot better than what it did when we first put it in. You go back and watch it. Look at the brass when we first put it in. You'll see there's a noticeably different. So now we will, wrong button. Sorry about that. Now we'll turn the unit off. So the unit's off now. And all I'm doing is I pick the basket out and I'm letting it dry, or letting it drip for a couple seconds here. Okay, from this step here, all we do is we take it over. Like I said, all it is an old cookie sheet. with a towel on it. But be careful. I did use heat on this brass to break up the carbon deposits a little bit more, so the brass will be hot. As you see, there's some brass that's stuck inside each other. That's not a problem. They'll come apart. That's not a big deal. Just like this one. This little bit of burnt powder on here, once I put it into the case vibrator with some corn cob, that'll be like a brand new piece of brass. So what you see on this brass now is just cosmetic. Everything's pretty much clean. There's a primer pocket for you. Here's an inside. The ultrasonic does a great job with cleaning this brass. But most guys, they'll take it like this and they'll go ahead and reload it. Me, I like to put shiny brass back into any of my guns. So we'll let this dry overnight. Then we'll come back. I'll show you what we do to put it back into the case vibrator. We'll run that for a couple hours. And then after that's done, we'll go to the next step. Okay, we have left this this brass dry overnight. So now we will take this, put it into our case vibrator along with our corn cob, and let me get that stuff and we'll get right to it. Alright, so here's the corn cob. I bought this in bulk. 2040 is the mix of the corn cob, so I think it was from a welding supplier or something. I bought it. It was a lot cheaper. So let's go ahead and get some of this dumped into the vibrator. I usually go about probably about halfway with the media. And we'll get some brass here and start loading it up. Here's the, that's about how much media I put in. So, just start dumping this in. Might have to make 2 batches here. That should be good. I still have some brass left. We'll make 2 batches. This will go in a couple hours, and what's in here, we'll go ahead and run this for a couple hours, and then when it's done, I'll show you the results. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best way. I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm saying I've tried many different ways, and this is what works best for me. So we'll get this going here. We'll press the on button, and in a couple hours I'll take this out and I'll put the other batch in, and then we'll run the media separator, separate all the corn cob from the brass. And I can show you that process also, and then the brass will be done. Then we'll need to sort it. So here it goes. So now we just got done with our second batch that was in the case vibrator with the corncob media. I dump it into this media separator, just a standard media separator from Barry's Manufacturing. Close the lid up here. See if I can do it one hand. And then all you do with this is Just turn the handles. Now all you're trying to do is get out all the corn cob out of all the brass. You will have some extra corn cob or whatever media you're using. There will be still some residual, but 99% of it's going to come out, because what this is doing is just spinning the brass around in a cage, and then your media is going to fall to the bottom. Give it a look. Yeah, that's pretty good. So from here, that's it.
Sorry, I missed that.
And I just leave my used media in the media separator, and I just put it to the side. Okay, so now if we look at this brass compared to the way it was when we first started decapping it, you can see there is a big difference. This looks like new brass, and all I did was decap it, ran it through my ultrasonic 2 times for 60 minutes. Let it dry, put it in the case vibrator with corn cob, ran it for a couple hours, and this is how the brass turns out. Like I said, I've used a lot of different methods on trying to get the brass to look like this, to look like new.